So you're pretty good at solving competitively, or you do some pretty good reviews of new puzzles and new releases, or you even have a growing YouTube channel. I can relate to that. But you want to take it to the next level. You don't want to just be your own person. You want to be sponsored. You want to be one of the cool kids with their blue jackets and their white jackets and their whatever jackets. Maybe you should. Maybe you shouldn't. This video is going to explore the pros and cons of sponsorship in cubing. Well, first of all, we should define what sponsorship is. It's a mutualistic relationship between a brand and a recipient. The recipient helps publicize the brand and advertise for them and support them at competitions through their media, and the brand usually supports the cuber in some way, usually fiscally. Free products, or demos, or early access, or some other fiscal way to benefit them. This is definitive and is somewhat binding, meaning that there's an agreement to be had between the brand and the recipient. Something like referral codes, where you click the link and the other person gets money for it, that's not quite sponsorship because you can terminate that at any time. Sponsorship is a set agreement. In general, there are three types of sponsors. There's reviewers, personalities, and competitors. Reviewers purely review puzzles. They're like, oh, the new GANS 356 Air 420 just came out. I'm gonna review that. And they talk about whether or not it's worth buying. Personalities branch out a little bit more than that. Those are basically your YouTubers, your social media. So any of your favorite YouTubers who do things that are more than like unboxings and reviews and competition, recap stuff and all that sort of thing. And then you have your competitors. Those are the athletes of the cubing world. Those are the ones who solve competitively. They're good enough to be picked up by a team as someone who actually competes for them. So it should be noted there's a lot of overlap between these categories. For example, most people who are personalities also do reviews. Most competitors also have some kind of social media presence. There are some that are all three, like Lucas Eder. He reviews, he does YouTube videos in general, and he's also well known as a competitor. He used to be the world record single holder. Then there are people like Carl's Cube Corner, like I mentioned before, who's only a reviewer. Then there are people like Patrick Ponce, who doesn't really have an active YouTube channel other than just for solves and averages. So he's pretty much purely a competitor. Now that we know what sponsorship is, the question is whether it's worth it. The answer, it depends. I've said this before and I'll say it again, everything is subjective. There are all kinds of variables at play when considering something like this. What are you looking to get out of it? Are you just there to get free cubes? Well, in that case, don't do it. If the only benefits to you, then no one else is gonna sponsor you. If you're doing it just to actually further your career and try and benefit a store, then that's a pretty good deal. If you're doing it just because you love cubestore.co.uk.edu.org so much, then that could work too, I guess. Maybe there's something you can work with. Maybe there's a way to further your professional growth through the store. That's the best possible solution. It should benefit both sides. It has to be mutualistic. There has to be something to gain for both you and the store. It's not just a get free cubes kind of scheme. Now I'm gonna have to offer a warning for this. The rest of this video is gonna be opinion and experience and anecdotal. Just because something happened to me doesn't mean it's gonna happen to you. And this is based off of what happened to me and what was admittedly an abnormal sponsorship kind of situation with SpeedCube Shop. I was sponsored as a member of Team SpeedCube Shop for a few months where I had various odd jobs to fill. It was almost like a staff position. I started out by creating a t-shirt and helping to rebrand and make a new logo for a channel, Cubing with Mikai, a good friend of mine. You should watch him, he's a pretty rad guy. And from there I branched off to other YouTuber apparel designs like TC Cubes and LT Cuber back when he was around. And eventually I developed a handful of original and collaborative designs based on the store's existing logo. And there's a few of them that are still for sale right now. RipCF, Fit, Pixel T, Typography, Varsity, and Hipster are still available. So I also had a few other odd job positions around the store, mostly involving design, but also some puzzle setup and social media work. And I really do feel like I benefited from being with the store. It was a huge boon to my career as a YouTuber, and it taught me a lot of things about design and teamwork and other workplace skills. But the reason I chose to become independent was mostly because I wanted to blaze my own trail. I wanted to be Cube Dudes, not Cube Dudes brought to you by SpeedCube Shop. I wanted to just blaze my own trail and be my own person, not have my name tied to a brand permanently. The biggest thing that convinced me to leave, though, was some real advice I got from someone I look up to and respect a lot who chose to remain anonymous for the video. He told me that there's value in doing your own thing and making a name for yourself, not built on the shoulders of someone else. And specifically about sponsorship, he said if you're doing it to join the cool kids, then you've just fallen for the marketing. And that's what a lot of it is, it's marketing. It's cool to be a sponsored person. And it really is, that's absolutely true. There's a lot of benefit to being one of the white jacketers or the blue jacketers or whatever, team members sponsored by qstor.co.uk.edu.org. But a lot of times I was actually called things like sellout or corporate shill or employee of the month, just like insults like that, and I didn't really want it. I wanted to be my own channel where I do my own thing and not have to spend my time with another job. I enjoyed my time a lot, but I just decided my own way is the best way to go. And I also didn't want to like give a corporate advertisement every few sentences as well. So I'm glad I left, but it was definitely a good choice to be in it in the first place. This video has been brought to you by Audible, Squarespace, Dollar Shave Club, Harry's Loot Crate, the USPS, Vimeo, Yankee Candle, and Blockbuster. So you can listen to your favorite book while shipping out your fragrance subscription boxes, advertising your website, which allows your fans to rent videos where you compare shaving kits.